Hey, what's going on, Victorious family, Victorious Army? How y'all doing today? Oh, I don't know. How y'all doing today? So today's video is gonna be fairly short, just because I wanted to say a couple things here, right? As you know, I've had to deal with a lot of trauma in my life so far, right? A lot of it, to which I was unprepared for. I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know what to do, right? But now at least I know one thing, and very much so important, right? Like all these different people out there who hurt you, made fun of you, right? Or just did some diabolical, despicable shit to you, right? And then you see them later and they want to act like nothing happened, right? And they still want you to be around them, right? But you're over here like, yo, what the fuck? Right? You don't go back to trauma. Don't you don't go back to people who have hurt you and cursed you and left you in a shitty position, right? No matter who it is, right? No matter who it is, right? Like for me, it'd be my mother, it'd be my father, and some lame nigga who wanted to call me brother, right? Did all these things and said all these things to me at one point in time when I really depended on them for something in particular, right? When it really mattered that what they would say or what they would do for me needed to matter, right? They didn't give a fuck. They shit on me, right? They told me all this type of crap. They hurt me, right? They hurt me emotionally, internally. They hurt me physically, right? All these different things, right? And then, right, you see them again and they just want to act like nothing happened and want you to be all back up in their space and around them and their energy. It's like, no, you don't go back to that shit. Cause throughout this whole thing, I was so fucked up by all of this stuff, right? I didn't know how to feel for a lot of different things. I didn't know how to feel, right? And it was to the point where I wasn't doing anything anymore. I wasn't getting up. I wasn't, you know, I don't know, like watching TV, but who does that anymore, right? Right? I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going outside. I wasn't, right? Nothing. Because I didn't know how to feel, right? And what I realized in that time, right, while I didn't know how to feel about these situations, I didn't know what had happened, right? All of these very sad emotions, right, or energies, or to be honest, whatever the fuck it was, right, it kept trying to pull on me and make me think that, oh, I'm the one who had it wrong and they just did this. No, no, right? I know what happened because I was there. I felt what happened. I saw what happened, right? Just because they want to act like nothing happened and all of a sudden, what, we're just, right? We just separated because nothing happened. Right, we're just away from each other, not talking no more. We ain't friends. We ain't hanging out. We're not within each other's space because nothing happened. Right. Because another thing I learned is the universe has a way of separating, right? Separating from certain people, certain experiences, certain things, right? So, which means, right, if really nothing happened, right, there would be no reason for, us to have been apart, right? There would have been no reason for us to have, right, not been hanging out, not be having fun, right? You know, talking to my father, being closer with my mother, right? All these different things, right? There's a reason for it all. Which also doesn't necessarily mean it's always a good reason or something that is high, like is as high up as you may think it is or want to think it is, right? It turns out, right, your spiritual path is pretty much right here. The one we walk, right? I live and breathe on, right? The same path where you see whoppersnips laying down, right? That's my dog's spiritual path right there. Pet this blibbity real quick. Anyway, right? So I say all this to say, right? People have really messed with you or hurt you or did something that really betrayed your trust, betrayed your heart, broke your heart, all these different things that really matter, especially when you must get the right reciprocation of energies from a situation, right? An experience, a person, right? For you giving all of your kindness, your time, your energy, your attentiveness to, you should get the proper reciprocation of energies back from that. And if you did not receive that, and because of that, right, you were very hurt internally, right? You were very hurt physically, right? They made you feel so terrible about your existence, or really played you on some dumb shit just because they felt like it, right? Just because they just wanted to do that. They don't deserve you, your energy, your time, your care, right? They don't. That's just as simple as it is. They don't, right? But truly though, right? What I found out is that the one who really deserves all that attentiveness and all that time and attention is myself, right? Because all of these different people, right, who did and said what they said at a certain time, right? It hurt, right? It was terrible. It was bad. I'm over it, truly, right? But with me, I feel like since I'm just such a loving and helping person, a loving, helping being, right? One who just cares so much for people, for me, it would be easy for me to just look past the bullshit and go back and help them, right? That's just because that's how I was, right? And for me, now I realize it's like, no, right? Because there are other people who really deserve to have your energy, time, and attention. Not those shitty people who said what they said, did what they did to make you feel that bad, or to really betray your trust, right? Your friendship, right? Your love, even, for whatever it is, right? There are other people out here who really need that from you, right? And first and foremost, right, those other people who need that from you would give you the right reciprocation of energies, right? Who would actually allow you to not have a damaged friendship, right? To feel honored, right? To feel good, feel special about, right? Being around that person or being with that person or those people, right? Because you don't deserve to put yourself back into trauma. You don't deserve to feel like that, right? And I had to learn that. Had to learn a lot of harsh lessons thus far. Had to learn a lot of harsh shit, right? But at the same time, the other part I realized, right? No matter what happens, really, right? You still must make the right choices for yourself, right? You still must do you within your own, I'm gonna say, with your own struggle, right? As far as yourself, right? You must still do for self. And that's one thing that was very hard for me, right? Because I was always out doing for other people. And since I didn't care enough about myself for the longest while, because all these people made me feel a certain way, right? It was very hard for me to just give myself anything, right? Very hard, right? Very hard for me to give myself anything. And truly, right? Whatever they did in the past, they just left me here, right? I'm not completely alone or what's the word? Word alone. I'm not completely unable to, right, do what I need to do, right? It's just hard because it's a mental thing, right? It's what it all is. It's all a mental thing. And you must break these mental things. Destroy them. Destroy them. So, I'm kind of everywhere with this vlog, but I feel alright. I feel like I'm doing better for me, and that's what matters, right? Irregardless of how anyone really feels about it, right? I'm doing me. Because I was one who was very sensitive about a lot of things, right? And no one showed me how to be tough. No one taught me how to do anything, right? I had to pretty much piece it together and figure it out for myself this whole time, right? So, at least for me for now, I'm just happy that I'm able to have certain self-love, right? For me to be able to do what I wish to do, right? And my victorious family, in order to do that, you must harden your will. You must become internally powerful, internally strong. How do you do that? You lean into that feeling energetically. What does that mean? That means you think about what would it feel like to be so strong, so powerful, right? That none of them grummy ass bitch niggas who want to talk all that shit at you that hurt you so easily earlier, right? Can now not even affect you, just bounce off, right? Being able to be ready for any confrontation, whatever it may be, right? Being able to have your shit together, right? For whatever that is for you and for whatever that is for me, right? Right? To be able to have your stuff succinct and in order, right? Being able to go out here and conduct your own life of your own will, of your own energy, doing things the way that you do things, right? Think about that feeling. Because I'm going to say for me, for the longest while, right? It was hard for me to even emotionally reach that type of point, right? For me to even start to even think that, I can run my own life now, right? I can do all these different things. I can set things up the way I want to, right? Because for me, since I had to deal with a lot of trauma, right? And I was always programmed not to think about myself, but technically hate myself and not give myself anything, right? It was very easy for me to take on trauma and take on pain, right? It was very easy for me to do that. But it was very easy for me to just help other people, right? But it's all a mind thing, right? It's all how the programming of the matrix and the cycle, right? Before you realize that you are the one within your own reality, right? To change up your programming. And that's truly what it comes down to, right? Because I also realized, just getting up and physically doing things may not necessarily be hard, right? Like putting that in order, like logically, right? Be honest, I kind of want to stay away from all logical anything because it's just societal logic is insanity in the truest sense, in my belief. But just using my mind power, right? Looking past my emotions for the moment and whatnot, right? It's easy to think up a way to go and put something in order, right? But that's not the problem. It's whether or not do you deserve it in here? Do you feel you deserve it in here, right? Do you feel like you can confidently walk out there and go and do it without being scared, without, having problems, without, getting distracted? So all these different type of things that can happen, right? When you're trying to reach a certain goal. Because, right, emotions are very, very important in life, period, right? I learned from Sister Myra Ross. She said that emotions may be the weakest form of energy we have, but I'll be honest, right? That weakest form of energy that we have, that emotions been kicking everybody's asses for a while, haven't they? To be honest, right? Haven't they? I know they kicked my ass. And I know other people made it very easy for me to kick my own ass emotionally, right? Because I was one who believed everything else everyone else, had to say, versus believing in my own, opinion or my own way of thinking or how I would come to certain things, right? And when you do that, right, you're just susceptible to everybody else's crap, especially if they have alternative motives, right, for whatever it is, right? So now it's like, I choose to think for myself more. I choose to ask myself, right, what do I think? What do I think about this, right? Because that's very important. So I used to be one who just, had very little. I was fine with very little because I'd never believed I deserved much of anything. So I was always fine with very little, right? But now that I see that truly it's only a mental thing, right? And how my mind was programmed, now how I can reprogram my own mind, right? To go and see that, oh, I can go for more, right? And I can feel energetically sound when I choose to go for more as well, right? Instead of, right, getting up there and then, like, getting to where I'm trying to go, and right before I go do the thing or, purchase the whatever or do the, like, whatever it is, right? Instead of sitting there getting scared or having those feelings of unworthiness and, all of that shit, right? I can now just go and do it, right? Instead of letting all of these distractions, really is what they are. Because you are worthy. You are worthy for anything you would like to have, experience, and do upon this world, right? And that was one thing my father took from me, right? Or tried to take from me, or took from me initially, right? It was one thing my mother didn't seem to want me to have, right? That was one thing that, certain people who want to act like they're your friend, right? Want you not to have, right? Just is what it is, right? But really the greatest thing to learn from all this is that, right? I think for me, right, the fact that I went through all of this stuff blind, as far as like not knowing what to do, not knowing what to think, not knowing how to act in certain situations when all of these things had happened to me, right? I did not know how to defend myself. I was very scared. I was very not good with that situation or any of them, pretty much, for the most part, right? I realized since I went through all of this shit like that, right, and I'm still here, I survived it at least, right? Now I know that if I'm able to do that scared, right, I can go over there and actually conquer the situation, or I will know what to say with great respect and standing within my own self as to what to do in that situation, right? Right. But like this is what I think anyway. This is what works for me. So, I just do what I believe will work, right? Since now I'm listening to my own self, I'm dictating my own moves. I'm making sure that, I'm not setting my own self up to fail. Because that's kind of how it was for me, a good while ago. It was more like, I was on my own for a good while, right? Everybody left me alone after they did their fuck shit, right? And I was just so mentally stuck, right? And I couldn't see the freedom that I had. I couldn't feel good about a lot of things. I just couldn't, because I couldn't see it, right? So now it's just time to see that. It's time to see what better is like. Time to see what having more is like, right? It's time to now thrive in the face of my enemies. Or truly just thrive in the face of these haters, right? They was mad at me for whatever reason, because I ain't had no fucking clue, right? The fact that they did that, it's like, well, though they made me feel as bad as they made me feel, I only realized that was some bullshit with them. And I don't have to put up with that, right? I don't have to take that anymore. I don't have to think that that's all I deserve as far as friends or, loved ones or people whom I care about, right? I don't have to feel bad anymore. right? That's one thing that it took me a great while to overcome. It's just, right? Because I believed I deserved to take all of that bullshit, right? I believed that I deserved very little. I believed that I was unworthy just to do the basic shit, right? For what we do, period, as people, right? Period. And I'm here to tell y'all that if there are people out here that made y'all feel like that, fuck them. Who gives a shit what they have to say about anything, right? I don't care, right? Not about them and their garbage anymore, right? After all the shit that I done did for them, they want to sit there and talk down to me. They want to sit there and flap their jowls at me about some shit because they want to be some bullshit asses, right? They can shut the fuck up, right? All of them. My bitch ass father, my crazy mother, right? That lame ass nigga who wanted to act like he was a friend to anybody, right? And there's all these shitty people, right? All those, yeah. My molester too, right? He can die. His head can fucking roll. Oh, I mean that shit. But at least for now, I'm gonna just do it like this, right? Keep getting myself together, right? Keep getting my mind together. It's repetition, right? Repetition, right? Of the things that I now get to do, I now get to say, I now get to experience, since so many people had blocked these things off. That would be great feeling for me. See, it's hard to say, it's hard to talk about, but anyway, right? These people try to block me off internally, right? With all of their horse shit and with all of their dumb shit and with all of their harsh words and crap, right? Because I was just so open and easily taken, right? My energy was just easily taken. People could easily get to me. That's just what it was, right? And now that I know I don't have to take that shit, and now that I know that I can stop those things from happening, right? I can have my own way of doing things. I can have my own defenses and measures, right? So that's what I'm gonna work on. And I'm gonna crush them completely. You know, in the right manners and methods, of course. But, you know, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, you know. Don't go back to trauma. You don't deserve that. I know it may be hard, right? Those emotions and those feelings may be really making you want to think that this and that is what happened, but look at the current reality. Like when you start to think like that, when those emotions may start to, you know, come to you like that, right? Look at current reality, right? Think about how you're feeling now and the fact that you've already been separated from each other, you know, before all this shit happened, or after all this shit happened, right? And you were feeling so bad initially already, right? So why would I want to go back to someone who made me feel like that? I don't give a shit who they are at this point, right? Because after my mother said what she said and did what she did, right? It's like, dang. I kind of don't give a fuck no more, right? But personally for me, right, you know, it's still mom, right? That's still mom, right? Maybe she ain't necessarily my mother, but maybe that's mom now, right? That's still mom. So, best thing to do is just overcome it, you know? Overcome it all. Go out there and deliberately do what you wish to do right in front of their faces and just stare at them. You ain't stopping shit here, right? There ain't shit for you to do, right? Or don't let them sit there and try to get back into your life either, right? Because that time's passed, right? Bye. But right, the only one I think, right, I still have any real respect for, right, is my mother, right? Because like I just said, like it's mom, right? But at the same time, ain't about to take none of her shit no more either, right? Cause it's nothing that I'm even doing. It's like just sitting there and then someone walks past you and just says some fuck shit in your vicinity, right? I didn't do nothing. Just fuck shit just keeps coming at me from her, and I don't know why, right? I can't talk to her. She won't listen to me, right? About certain things, right? And weirdly enough, it just seems like everything that, I may have going on around the house, at least for now, because I'm about to get me a new house and get the fuck up out of here, right? Somehow she ends up blocking my shit, or like I keep getting pushed to the back or something with my stuff goes wrong, and I'm just like, I don't get it, right? But all it means is just get the fuck out. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Because I believe in myself, right? And I want you to know you need to believe in yourself, because you can do anything, right? Because physically it's not hard to do, right? You have the mental capacity to do it, right? All you have to do is get those emotions in order. So you can just do the shit and feel good about it, right? Because it's emotions that speak to the universe, right? Not me speaking all these words about things like this, right? Maybe it helps others to hear it who understand like I do, but to speak to the universe, right? Those emotions is what really start to move shit and put shit in order, right? Really start to fucking move mountains, right? That's the type of shit I'm learning for me, right, as well. But right, have faith and confidence, right? Somehow I'm still here in the house. I ain't get kicked out yet, and I don't plan on getting kicked out until I'm ready to leave here. After all they done said and did, and just left me stuck in my mind, right? Left me just stuck and hurt and confused, and no one told me how to heal myself. No one helped me with anything, right? So I'm gonna take the time I need to get up out of here, regardless of what she wants to say or what she wants to do, right? But I'm gonna put it like this, right? The plan is to get the fuck up out here very quickly. So that's what we gonna do. All right. Thank you for listening. I love you all. We gonna work through all this shit together, and we gonna be wealthy and successful as fuck. All right. So, as always, lead yourself to your greatest victory. Peace.